That's what we're talking about.
Praise him, praise him, praise him.
Yeah. Jump and make a joyful noise.
All my talent is simply nothing if I didn't use it the right way. And I'm afraid I may have to stammer when the Lord has the judgment day. Mister, what you did with your talent? How many souls you helped to convert? All the money, the fame and glamour. Calculate and do what it's worth.
Tell me.
Because what does it profit a man even though he should gain the world? Only to wake up judgment morning and realize he loses his soul. So I sing it. So come for Jesus. Hey, 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 hey. So come for Jesus. Praise the Lord in Cooper. Cooper for Jesus. Let us glorify his name. Reggae for Jesus. Reggae for Jesus. I don't want to be with the many who will be junking and falling down when the ram of the head so deaf.
Good morning, Rhino.
So I sing it.
And my partner, Cruz.
For Jesus.
We're going to church Sunday, right?
So good.
Yeah.
For Jesus. Hey, 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 hey.
Peck you to
For Jesus. Feels so good for us to praise him. Oh,
That's what you call a transformation.
praise the Lord.
This is really the year of transformation. Praise him. Praise him.
Praise him.
Huh?
In the spirit.
Good morning, Mike Alexis. What's up, bro?
Praise him. Praise him. Praise him. Praise him. Praise him.
All right. I was just having, this is one part of my morning coffee. Yeah, the gospel. I just must do that. Must. Yeah, as my good friend would say, Mr. Noel, what must. Good morning, my people. It's 27 minutes on to 7 o'clock. I hope you are up and alive and well. But even if you're not all right, you're not doing too bad, okay? You've got life, so there is the possibility that things will get better. All right, remember that. So don't you start moping and sulking and, adopting this defeatist attitude. Nah. The garment of praise is for the spirit of heaviness, eh? Yeah, you're feeling down, just start to sing some nice gospel and, make a joyful noise and watch how the thing goes away. It's all a spirit, eh? All right, let's get into the program this morning. I hope you are well. I really do hope all is well. It's going to be a good day, a very good day. At this time every morning we give you the word for the day, and this morning it's no exception. The word for the day is the word fortuitous. Yeah, fortuitous. It is spelled Fortuitous. All right, and it means happening by chance. It can also mean having or showing good luck. Although I don't believe in luck, my version of luck is preparedness meeting opportunity. You're prepared and the opportunity comes, so you grab onto it. But it says it can also mean having or showing good luck. And it can be used these ways. It was rather fortuitous that the two sisters both decided to surprise their parents with a visit on the same weekend. Yeah, you can also say, thank goodness you're here. You could not have arrived at a more fortuitous time. Yeah, so remember that. It's an adjective, and it is spelled Fortuitous. Yeah, good. All right, I want to say good morning to some special little children. Good morning, Mikael. Good morning, Tammy. Good morning, Lena. How you doing? Are you getting ready for school, right? Have a good day at school. Mikael, behave yourself, you understand? Otherwise, bossy go deal with you. Good. All right, let's look at the thought of the day. The thought for today is, do not look where you fell, but where you slipped. All right? Do not look at where you fell, but rather look at where you slipped. In essence, what it is saying is, rather than dwelling on your mistake, look at what caused you to make the mistake, yeah? That's the only way you can remedy that situation. Nice. Good. 24 minutes on to 7 o'clock. All right, don't get too worried. This is only my second cup of coffee for the day, all right? I usually have 2 cups of coffee. Yeah. Nice. I think I have to get a cup with my logo on it, you know what I'm saying? Janelle, good morning. You know, you think you could organize that for me? Nice, nice, nice. Okay, let's see what's buzzing this morning. All right, final respects to Pope Benedict. All right, Roman Catholics in Grenada will pay their final respects to Pope Benedict the 16th today, Friday, at the Cathedral for Immaculate Conception, yeah? Good. That's buzzing. Okay, also buzzing, the sports personalities of the year 2022 are Lyndon Victor in the male division and Jamura Alves of the female from the female division. Now Victor, who is also the Commonwealth champion, well, he broke his Grenadian record from 2017, scoring 8,550 points to win the 2022 decathlon at the Decaster meeting in Talence. In 2022, he also won gold in the men's decathlon at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, England. Caraco's Jamura Alves is an outstanding female shot put and discus athlete, and she was making waves internationally last year. That 19-year-old young lady was discovered by Grenadian coach Trevor McIntosh. All right, I hope Trevor McIntosh, I didn't know this guy. Now, last year, Alves secured a full university scholarship to attend the St. John's University in the United States. She is pursuing a degree in health and human service and biology. Now let's send them some love and appreciation. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about them this morning. Yeah, we're gonna give them some, give them some good Grenadian big ups. Yeah, all right. What are your New Year's resolutions? Okay, well, GBN took to the streets and got that from the public. Okay, there was also that clarion call as a distraught mother was seeking the public's help in finding her son who left home for school on Wednesday and did not return home. However, the good news is that Jadine has been found. But where was he and why didn't he return home? Okay, so yeah, that's buzzing as well. Another thing that's buzzing is the annual Independence Calypso competition is in high gear. Organizers are accepting song entries until the 13th of January. The revamped event is expected to be top quality as changes have been made to the competition. One of the main changes that I would like to see is the declaration of the theme for the event or for that celebration earlier, August, September latest, so that you can get top quality calypsos. You can't give me a theme in December and expect a good calypso in January. That's my take on it. So I think going forward, Mr. Mark, good morning. How you doing, Papi? You and your organizing team, your organizing committee? Yeah. Now, there would be an increase on taxes on sugar-sweetened beverages as of February 1st, all right? And we hear that the Food and Nutrition Council will be working along with the government as it moves to increase taxes on sugar-sweetened beverages next month. Executive Director Lydia Brown says it is a pleasant way to start the new year. Well, that's not for everybody. Everybody likes, not everybody that would want to be a part of this reduction in sugar usage. You understand? So it's a bit controversial, but nonetheless, I personally think it's a good step. Put up some more taxes on alcohol and nicotine products. Make it $100 for a small pack of cigarettes. Yeah, it will act as a deterrent, hopefully. And finally, on the buzz this morning, the new disc welcome. So far, so good. Motorists in Grenada are adjusting to the new license decal. The rollout began on January 3, 2023. So these are the stories making the buzz this morning. And I think we will zero in on, okay. All right, my TV guide, these are the two we will be looking at. The increase in the taxes on sugar sweetened beverages, and also we'll be paying a lot of homage to our own athletes. Lyndon Victor and Jamora Alves. So these are the two stories we will be pushing this morning. So get your ideas and your thoughts and compact them, all right? compact them. I like having conversations, but in the interest of time, we cannot be too lengthy. So be mindful of that, all right? Be mindful of that. And having called once, except it's something of critical importance, please hold back. Let somebody else, let somebody else get on board. So quickly, the word for the day, the word fortuitous, and it means happening by chance. It can also mean having or showing good luck. And the thought for the day, do not look at where you fell, but instead, do not look at where you fell, but where you slipped. Okay. All right. Okay. Good. So that's it on this segment. Those of you on GBN television, we've got a rebroadcast of last evening's television news. And those of you locked here with me on K105, we've got the AM edition of News, Sports, and the weather forthcoming. So don't you go anywhere. Stick and stay with us. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
We all have wishes at Christmas. Maybe it's a car, repairs to your home, new appliances, or travel. Get yourself that perfect gift with a GUT Credit Union Christmas Make-A-Wish loan. You can get the money you need to make that holiday wish come true. Apply for a loan and you'll be entered to win one of 5 shopping sprees at Foodland Supermarket. Plus, great prizes from Sol EC Limited, Dean Mattresses, Digicel Grenada Limited, and Beacon Insurance. Call 440-1354. Email loans@gutcu.com or visit go.gutcu.com/Christmas. Apply now and make your wish the perfect gift this Christmas. Special conditions apply.
Thanks for joining us. We begin the news on a somber note this evening as a distraught mother is seeking the public's help in finding her teenage son who left home for school on Wednesday and has not returned home since. The desperate mother reached out to GBN and spoke with my colleague Rena Pett Thomas today.
Lona Thomas is in tears as she is desperate to find her 13-year-old son, Jaden Thomas, who lives with his father in St. Paul's. She said he left for school on Wednesday and was seen by a neighbor later in the evening, but has not been seen since.
He don't live with me. He lived with his dad for the last 3 years. So he contacted me last night and asked me if Jaden is by me. And I told him no. And he said he come from work and he has not seen him. And I asked him if he went to the police station. He said yes, he went to the St. Paul's police station. He made a report. He said the police, they even searched last night surrounding areas, areas around and stuff. And nothing. I've called my mom, I called my cousins, I called everybody that I believe that, he will go by, but nothing. Apparently yesterday he left with his older sister. She was Westall Secondary. He left. They took a bus going up that side, a number 2 bus. She dropped him at his school gap. She went down to school at Wester Hall. When she came back home, he was not there.
The mother says that over the past few months, her son's attitude to school changed, and he has been quieter than usual. The change became noticeable after Jaden was unsuccessful in his CPEE exam, and in October, the principal revealed that he was regularly absent. This came as a surprise to the father, who, according to the mother, said Jaden will leave home for school daily. They later found out that he has been bullied at school because he was unsuccessful in his exam.
Well, we knew he's a quiet child, so we knew he had trouble in the past about bullying. We know children pick on him because he didn't do pass the CPA. We know he complained about 2 children, harassing him. I'm not too sure of the names. His father went to the school to clarify everything. So we know of 2 children that was kind of, bullying him in school 24/7. His offer last night when after 10 and he couldn't be found, one of his classmates reached out to my daughter and let my daughter know that he does be seriously bullied by one particular child. And every time he comes to school, the child bully him. So apparently, we are not too sure if this is the reason why his behavior changed towards school. Because even if you have a school event and you say, let me go and get a clothes to go to school event, he starts to shake. I told him I witnessed that over the holidays. Everything concerning the school. Jaden want to go in the fair? No. All my clothes dirty. Jaden want to go on a school trip with the school? No, mommy. And he shakes one foot. So I know his behavior did change.
The mother says with the new school term, she had another discussion with her son, who was again happy to return to school, only to find out that he is missing just a few days into the new school term.
Not skip school anymore because you know the police speak to you already. I say, you're sure nobody interfere with the school? He said no. I say, you're sure you're not being bullied in the school? He said no. Over and over, I asked the question, you want to stay with me? You want to transfer? He said no. He wants to go to school. He wants to do CPA.
Thomas is desperate to find her son and is asking the general public to help in any way. She's also appealing to Jaden to come home.
Well, just anybody. Anybody. He's a 13-year-old child. He not had to miss. He don't have to miss. If he's on the road, somebody must see him. Somebody must see him somewhere. He not hard to miss. We just always say, Grenada not that huge, so somebody must see him somewhere, anywhere. I just want to help. Just try finding him. Volunteers, anybody. Because I can't wait for 48 hours for the police to put it up on the radar. It's already 24 hours. And a lot of rainfall last night, and we don't know where he is. Just come home. We don't vex with you. Just come home, and we go walk on it.
For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Distraught mother there. Come home. Catholics in Grenada will pay their final respects to Pope Benedict XVI on Friday. Christina John spoke with a representative from the Catholic community on Thursday.
It's a somewhat sad day for Catholics here in Grenada and around the world, as Pope Benedict XVI was laid to rest on Thursday. Pope Francis, his successor, joined pilgrims in St. Peter's Square to preside over the funeral of his predecessor. Pope Benedict passed on December 31st, 2022 at the age of 95 years. In an exclusive interview, parish priest Father Sean Doggett says Catholics here will pay their final respects on Friday.
Let me say first of all that what's being done in Grenada is tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock. There is a special mass in the cathedral for the repose of the soul of Pope Benedict XVI. So all are invited to come to that at 5 o'clock in the cathedral in St. George's tomorrow, Friday.
No one from Grenada's Catholic community attended the funeral in person, as Father Doggett explains.
It was not... He expressed a desire, and I think Pope Francis too had a desire that the funeral be kept as simple as possible. You see, it wasn't delayed very long. He died on, Old Year's Day, I think. And, they just had the few days of lying in state and then the funeral, which, like any funeral, well, maybe there's more people present and a little bit more elaborate, but basically it's the same funeral that any Catholic would have here in Grenada or anywhere else throughout the world.
The deceased Pope was criticized for his handling of the Church's sexual abuse scandal, a scourge that followed him and rocked the Catholic Church community.
What the big surprise was that he decided to retire, because no Pope had retired in about 600 years. But in a sense, that was his greatness, because the Church was facing challenges at that time of a nature that he did not feel he could deal with, that he was not the person to do that. And so he was already well in his 80s, and he did not feel up to it, and he did the very honorable thing, and he announced very unexpectedly that he would retire as Pope and allow somebody else to be elected. And out of that, we elected Pope Francis.
If there is one page Father Sean had to take from the former Pope's book, it would be this.
Well, to study, not to just, take things off the top of your head. When we study the Word of God or when we profess our belief, what are we really saying? If I say I believe in God, well, what am I really believing in? What is God? What is my image of God? What is my understanding of God? My understanding of God, we say 3 persons in one God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. what really do I believe by that? What do I mean by that? And how are those persons related within the one God? Because there is only one God. These kind of questions. And likewise from the Word of God, questions like, what did Jesus mean when he said, unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you will not have life in you? So delving into these and coming to the truth, what God has really told us, that was the contribution of Pope Benedict, and that will be the lesson that all of us must learn.
The dome of St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican was shrouded in mist as a cypress wood coffin containing Pope Benedict XVI's body was brought out, placed on a step and subsequently interred in a tomb beneath the cathedral. Pope Benedict XVI was born Joseph Ratzinger on the 16th April 1927 and passed on December 31st, 2022. He was the head of the Catholic Church and sovereign of the Vatican City-State from the 19th April 2005 until his resignation on the 28th of February 2013. Christina John, GBN News.
Well, while many people did not make it to 2023, the people who did are grateful for surviving another year. As many Grenadians start to settle into 2023, GBN sought to find out if the tradition of having a New Year's resolution is still part of their culture. A New Year's resolution or a New Year's goal is a kind of promise that is made to oneself at the start of a new year. Usually the resolution is intended to improve one's life. For ages, people have been using the start of a new year to make positive changes in their lives. Whether any of these promises lasted into February is still anyone's guess. GBN News combed the streets of St. George today and asked people about their resolutions for 2023.
You make a resolution, but things doesn't go as planned. So that's why most of the times I don't really make, like, say, have this New Year resolution, because life is so unpredictable right now, you know? So we just have to hope for the best.
To do all I can to uplift Grenada. That would be my New Year's resolution. Yeah. It's big or small, whether it's, not taking plastic, recycling, using a recycle bag, whatever it is, from the smallest to the largest thing, whatever I can do to uplift Grenada. That'd be my New Year's resolution.
Indulging myself, not being selfish, but self-awareness should be considered. Because too much of time we put ourselves out there and we get hurt, whether by friends, family, loved ones. So, self-awareness and self-love we should endure on.
To be honest, I'm not even sure yet. I'm a student of TAMCC, so for now focusing on trying to finish off for 2023 and maybe see what the future holds for me. Maybe I might go on to SGU if finances afford me. Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to set goals. At least you have a plan. You will be able to work with it. So, that you're getting things accomplished when you set a goal. But you could move with the flow too.
I stopped making resolutions because I don't keep them. Understand? So I don't make it anymore. If you could keep it, yes. If not, just do like me. No bother.
Really, I'm just trying, walking on what I already built on from last year or the years before. So it's just building steps going forward. Not really anything new for the year. I believe everybody should have goals, be it short-term, long-term goals. Yeah, I believe that. Because it's all about growth and betterment. Yes, I believe that.
Representative in the Senate, Roderick Sinclair, is calling for a Pretty Larceny Fund to compensate victims of the growing scourge. Christina John reports.
Farmers and Fishers representative in the Senate, Roderick Sinclair, says pretty larceny continues to be one of the biggest challenges confronting the agriculture sector, and he is keen to see a national approach to eradicate this.
Last year, the police commissioner would have had a forum in the Look Cinema early last year. Farmers are meeting me and asking me what is the result of this consultation, what has happened, and that has been an ongoing question. So this is some answers that we would hope that we can get at some point.
Seeking justice for farmers who fall victim to thieves is simply not enough. St. Clair is recommended that a Predial larceny fund be put in place to address compensation to victims of Predial larceny. He was speaking in light of an increase in the incidence of crop theft resulting in farmers' grievances.
Because if the crop companies, the Predial larceny fund is set up, and this is not a bank account, this is basically a line item within the government account. So when you go and you pay, just like how you pay your license, you pay for plants in the treasury, this money would be deposited in that line item and it's hold there. And so if this fund exists, right, then persons who police may have picked up for some reason, and they would have been charged. And we don't know who the goods is for. These funds would go into this fund. And so in this case now, if this gentleman is charged and found guilty and he doesn't have the money to pay one dime, you can now get funds out of this Predial larceny fund and give her, even if it's at 10%, 20%, so at least she could start her business over again.
Senator St. Clair is calling on the administration to set up the funds since farmers cannot do it themselves. The senator says consultations were held in this regard.
We speak about the farmers have to register, we need the farmers' ID, and so on. And of course, we need to encourage more of that. And we need to have the registration and have all those records updated. But this is the farmer side. The farmer can go and set up a Predial larceny fund. The farmer don't have no power within the Crop Compensation Act, which is basically a two-line act to set up. Otherwise, maybe the farmer might have do it already. But the farmer doesn't have that legal authority to do it. That has to be done by the executive and the government. You know, the farmer does his part, which is taking out the ID. And of course, we need to get the vendors and them likewise registered. We have all the vendors selling, especially those within the market and public spaces. Again, the ministry is responsible for those, should ensure that these vendors are properly registered and they follow the protocol to be able to sell in those spaces.
Christina John, GBN News.
The Food and Nutrition Council will be working along with the government of Grenada as it moves to increase taxes on sugar-sweetened beverages next month. Executive Director Lydia Brown says it is a pleasant way to start the new year. Nisha Paul reports.
Pleased to hear when the Prime Minister announced that there would be an increase in taxes on sugar-sweetened beverages. They aren't the only thing that contribute to chronic non-communicable diseases, but they sure do contribute because we consume them in very large amounts, and they're foods that are considered ultra-processed. Some of them I don't even really categorize them as food. I mean, they have energy in them, but no nutrients.
Lydia Brown, Executive Director of the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council, has welcomed the move to increase taxes on sugar-sweetened beverages as of February 1st.
I think this is a very positive move. I know that we are seeing increasing numbers of persons coming down with many chronic diseases, and the increase in intake of sugars is not only linked to diabetes, as people may think, but it also contributes to obesity, and we know that obesity is linked to many of the chronic diseases, including hypertension, cancers, and we know that cancer has been our number one cause of death in Grenada.
The dietitian says she's hoping that the increased taxes will have the desired effect and decrease the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages.
It would be interesting to see down the line whether our importation of some of these drinks have decreased because the sales have gone down. I mean, we would have to be able to put some things in place, working along with other ministries and stuff, to see what the medium to long term effect of this increase has been. We know there was an increase in the past, and I don't think it really really was probably significant enough to make that shift for us to see a decrease.
Health Minister Jonathan Lacrette recently revealed that non-communicable diseases, which includes diabetes, account for 83% of deaths in the country. For GBN News, Nisha Paul.
A local farmer's distress over pre-deal larceny is what has been creating a buzz on social media. Beverly Telesford has been looking around the platforms.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz report.
A farmer is still in distress while police are yet to make an arrest following the theft of thousands of dollars of agricultural produce. Senator Roderick St. Clair wrote to the Royal Grenada Police Force on behalf of the farmer requesting intervention.
Is this a case of police failing to perform their duties, that of serving and protecting members of the public? Despite having evidence, which include camera footage, Sally Gidhari continues to suffer losses at the hands of a thief. Recently, GBN visited Gidhari's farm at Claboni, St. Andrew. Having lost thousands of dollars worth of peppers and other agricultural crops, the farmer says she has exhausted all options and has turned farmers and fishers representative in the Senate, Senator Roderick St. Clair.
Social media users took to the comment section to share their thoughts about this development. The following views are of members of the public and not of the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Cynthia said, vendors and our purchasers are just as guilty as the robbers and they too should be charged. Sometimes the public can't be told of the moves of the law enforcement officers. We might think they are not doing anything, but there is a saying, the wheels of justice grind slow. Please, people, let us respect each other. Farming is not easy. We need to grow what we eat to assist with the economy and cut our import costs. Don said, to me it's a great disrespect. She worked too hard. Very easy to find. Go to the market and ask where they buy the product. Gertrude said, lady, you pray deep within your heart. God knows just what to do to stop them from destroying the labor of your hands. And this person added, thieves I can't stand. Ask for what you want. So much labor and cleaning, and when time to harvest and enjoy, thieves. Oh gosh, man. That's what's buzzing tonight. We encourage you, our viewers and listeners, to submit your think pieces on trending topics locally, regionally, and internationally via our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
Solar lights are back in stock and will be available for purchase at Southern Electrical. Here is a list of the solar lights that we offer. 200 to 300 watt intelligent floodlights with camera, 300 to 500 watt solar street lights, 60, 100, 200, and 500 RGB solar floodlights, 100, 200, 300, 500, and 800 solar floodlights, solar garden lights, 25, 40, 60, 100, and 200 watt solar floodlights, 3, 7, and 10 watt solar wall lights, motion center garden lights, motion sensor floodlights, 30, 60, and 90 watt solar street lights with accessories, 5 watt solar wall lamps, 40 and 60 solar street lights, and 100 and 300 solar floodlights with battery power display. Now available at Southern Electrical, Dusty Highway, St. George. Visit our showroom today.
Government has announced measures to drive the cost of living down. The opposition thinks some of these will backfire in the future. Pensions have been paid as promised. Opposing voices question the sustainability. How will the Prime Minister and his team play the balancing act? Let's hear from him on these and other issues on Monday night on GBN's Beyond the Headlines at 8 p.m. Beyond the Headlines, live on GBN Television, Classic Radio, and our our social media platforms.
You see, mention the wing high, then you have things like man, you must come back, you know. We have the low power that.
When you push it, it is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake, I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Good morning, my pips. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are we this morning? I hope everyone is having a wonderful day thus far. It's Friday. Mr. Bido in Carriacou always says to me that Friday is a good day for the ladies. I don't know why. So I asked him why. He said, well, that is the day when the men get pay and the women collects the money. Good morning to the wonderful folks out there in Carriacou and P.D. Martinique. Gail Aki, good morning to you. Patrick Kojo, good morning. Jude and all the guys, good morning, good morning. Shondell and everybody, how are you doing? Hope all is well. All right, a quick peek on the, while my television guy pulls that clip with Lyndon, Victor, and Miss Alves. Let me tell you what's happening on our Facebook page. Good morning, Grenada. So says Veronica Sandy. Good morning, GBN, Grenada, Carriacou, and PD Matnik. And good morning, Gordon. Good morning to you, Veronica. Hope you're having a good day wherever you are at this moment. Yeah, hope all is well. And Lydia Cameron says, Miss Sandy, good morning and Happy New Year. Okay, and Miss Sandy responds, good morning. Okay, all right. Good. Cynthia B says, good morning. Good morning, Cynthia B. Okay. On our WhatsApp platform, this gentleman says, good morning, Innocence. Cheers to the first weekend of the new year and its Panorama semi-final tomorrow for small orchestras in Trinidad. And we have quite a number of Grenadian pan players down there. All right. This person says, good morning, Innocent. This weekend is our first athletic meet at the stadium, the Adrian Mitchell Games. All right. So, folks, you got to go out and be a part of that. All right. Good. Nice, nice. Okay, I was told that we do not actually have a clip for the Lyndon Victor story, but I'm gonna pitch it out anyway. And in the interim, my television personality is my technical guy rather. He's gonna look, sort of that article with the additional taxes on sugar products. All right. But let me ask you this: Lyndon Victor and is Jamora? Let me see. Let me see if I get the name right. I have to make sure. Yes, Jamora Alves of Carriacou. They have been nominated Male and Female Sports Personalities of the Year, and congratulations to them both. And I would like you to call in and chip in and extend your congratulations to them. And at the same time, I want to pitch that question: do you think that we are doing enough? And when I say we, I'm talking about the sporting officiating bodies. All right. In terms of scouting and searching for new athletes, young, talented athletes, what can you suggest to them so that we may find more Kiranis and more Lyndon and more Jamoras and all our athletes, more Alan Francic. We've got Grenada is just blessed with talent. But do you think enough is being done to harness the talent so that our best is being put out? I am of the opinion that enough is not being done, whether it be due to lack of resources, human resources, financial resources. But I am very certain that if a more, how should I put it, a more structured program is put in place in terms of scouting, going out to the various, not just the schools, because sometimes you don't find them in the schools. Sometimes you find them in the communities. If you go up to Closure in an afternoon when the youngsters are playing soccer or cricket in that little pasture that they've got there, you might just identify somebody that you might have missed in the schools. All right, so I would like to see a more comprehensive, is the word I was looking for. I would like to see a more comprehensive approach being adopted going forward. And that is no disrespect. I'm not saying that Colin Peters and the guys, my good friend Colin and the rest of the team at the Ministry of Sport, I'm not saying that they're not doing enough, right? I'm not saying that. I know Colin and his team, they work diligently. But I personally would like to see more, because I am of the opinion that we have a lot, but they are not being found. So give me a call, 435-2041. That's the number to call. And extend your congratulations to Lyndon and Jamora. And, chip in with your suggestion. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, morning. In a sense, I'll get the ball rolling, because I've seen a lot of people were hesitating. I'm not too aware of the young lady from Carriacou, as you said. But you said something which might be a little confusing. They have been nominated, or they've been declared. Which one?
They've been declared sports personalities of the year.
That was kind of confusing, because I know it could be nominated and then selected.
Yeah, they have been selected.
Okay. I think, it's good. What happened in terms of what the comment you make or the opinion you have? Of course, there's some truth in that, but we have to look at how we do things here. We do things here piecemeal, and there's no scientific, there's no thorough thing. In a lot of cases, we start very late. Based on what I know, in terms of how you create champion, you have to start from as very early as possible. And it had to be a day in, day out. I remember when I was a journalist, I went to a sporting activity, a sporting festival in Saskatoon. But mainly girls. I'm not too sure, but basketball and all that kind of stuff. And you see and gymnastics and so on. You see the kids 2-3 years being, in the whole thing. But we wait until the child comes into the teenage years a lot of time, and then they do a little something and they lose interest. And
so in essence, caller, as we wrap up, you're saying that it sort of ties in with what I said. It has to be more structured.
But this is what I'm saying. So that we have to start long, and we have to concern about what happens to the kids after they leave school, because as soon after they leave school, that's the end of them, and we should encourage a culture of physicality of people remaining active and so on, so that before you even deal with the obesity problem.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, caller. Thank you for your contribution. It's 14 minutes after 7 o'clock. And Yulin Alexander, of course, she says, good morning, Grenada. Good morning, Mr. Gordon. Blessings to everyone. Fantastic Friday. Have a great day, great and wonderful day and weekend, everyone. Yulin, good morning to you too. How are you doing? Good morning, caller.
Good morning, sir. Let me just congratulate the two athletes. They are well deserving, right? Let me just comment though. The Ministry of Sports, yes, might be needing to do a little more, but our athletes, especially track and field, are community and school based. What we need is to go back Those of us like yourself, we come out in the village and work with the clubs in our parishes. If there isn't one in our villages, form one. That is where the work needs to be done right now. Inside the villages, in the community.
Yeah, but hold on, caller. While I agree with this, I do agree, but it has to start. It has to be orchestrated from an administration level because
the Ministry of Sports has policy. The different associations has administration in place. They are largely voluntary. The association, largely, especially track and field. Yes, you are saying that more needs to be done there.
Yeah, because, for example,
there is a lot being done there. There is so much that can be done there. What we need now is to help those young athletes because most of them future depends on in a large way on track and field. It's easier to get a sports scholarship today than to get an academic scholarship. We need whatever you're saying. Let us, yes, the ministry needs to do, yes, the association needs to do, but let us go back into the villages. Okay. Let us mobilize like how we mobilize for elections and everything, and let us deal in the villages with our young people.
Nice.
We are losing some of them.
Thanks.
And let not industrial actions in the future impact sports, especially youthful sports, so heavily.
Good.
Thank you.
Have
Goodbye.
a good day.
Morning.
Good. All right. 17 minutes, all right, after 7 o'clock. Back to the telephone. Now, please be mindful of that, all right? I don't want to be walking through the streets of St. George's and Colin and his guys tell me I'm bashing them. I am not. I'm saying I would like to see more effort, more resources being placed into a more structured approach for the various sporting disciplines. So in terms of identifying, yes, I agree with that previous caller. We need to go back to the villages, into the club setting. But even from the club setting standpoint, there must be some administration intervention to ensure that the clubs are being run properly. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Good morning. I like that conversation. I would like to see more clubs. I would like to see more cooperation. But we have a problem. It's the same set of persons who in charge of these institutions is where the issue is.
What institution?
You're talking about from the Olympic Association, you're talking about the Ministry of Sports and all these different organs. There is people inside of there. They decide who they want to be part of the organization. And there's a lot of coaches out there. You know, they had a meeting for coaches and instructors and different things and association. And some coaches were never invited. Okay? So how are we moving forward when we still have that level of discrimination? How are we growing? Because you're talking about a national meeting to get athletes, get coach, get organization and clubs, get community center up and running. Government change. But how you didn't invite certain persons? And it's the same set of people at every election. There's certain people, every time they keep on re-electing themselves.
Why?
Well, this is a very interesting conversation going on to get things going.
And let me ask you this. Are you subscribing to the theory that this thing of tongue and country is still existent?
It's still, technically, it's still when you look at it, it's still happening because there's a lot of athletes out there that are doing well and working real hard. But the persons that benefit, they decide who they give grass. Why some eating? Because I was up in Grenville what it was, and I see they building a mini stadium up, and that's a man. But look at Progress Park there. Why these people didn't develop Progress Park? Why did you want to take a next piece of land?
Where is that being built?
Where Progress Park is in Grenville, and you go down.
I know where Progress Park is, and I see they're doing
There's a big construction I see going on there. A friend of mine is an engineering job, and I see what they're building. They're building a mini stadium. I see about why it is. You're building a mini. You have a stadium in Tonga, and many times it have event in the stadium. The government giving people tickets to go in the stadium. It is telling yourself, people talk about sports, but they're not really interested or love sports, because if you are paying people to go and watch a cricket, which many people not supporting. What's the size of the stadium? What the biggest event we ever had inside of this when they opened with Australia and the West Indies. That was the first match. And then the next match after Ivan, it had a big gospel concert when this guy come from America, the pastor, the stadium was full of. But after that, look at the stadium.
The biggest, let me tell you something. I beg to differ. The biggest event that the stadium has ever had is YGT Bingo.
No, but not as the first cricket.
God, I didn't mean that. I was just being provocative, right?
Okay, but I catch you coming because I make a noise about that also.
All right.
So, yeah.
All right. Thank you, caller. We have
need to look at things more proactive.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good one. All right, good morning to my good partner, Wayne Wagiti Redhead. Partners, I ain't beating up on you. I just giving you some kudos because you're an organizer. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Yes, sir. We're talking about, I think the year is transformation year. Now we have to transform the way every one of us think in Grenada. So we have to do changes in the schools, in the ministries, all about transformation. We even have to transform our way of using words. For example, we don't talk about amount of price. We don't talk about amount of vehicles. So we have to transform everything in Grenada.
You have to transfer or transform?
Transform.
Okay.
But transfer too. Well, although you have an idea, transform means only to take out from one place to bring to another. But transform.
Okay.
So that's what we have to do. So we have perhaps we have a vague idea of the word transformation. Even we have to transform the people, do something to make them stop stealing.
So
we have to transform every single thing.
All right,
the
caller.
way we behave, the way we even talk.
I understand all that, and just like that, you are trying to transform the topic that I had this morning. Have a good morning, caller. I love you. Bye-bye. Right. He's one kind of guy. 22 minutes after 7 o'clock, that is the time. Okay, how are we doing this morning? Everybody all right? It's Friday, you know. Yeah, some folks say TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. I thank him for every single day. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning. How are you doing?
I am alive and thankful. How about you?
It's always a pleasure. I'm enjoying you. Since sometime in November, you came on the morning program. And I give you that compliment. I must give you that compliment.
Thank you very much.
Because you have made a vast difference to all of the other program hosts that has come on.
Well, what we do, we don't compete, we complement each other, right?
Yeah, well, what I'm saying here, you are doing a good job, and I want you to keep it up.
Thank you very much.
Penner, ultimate caller, and he is spot on. I mean, what I'm seeing here in Grenada for the last few, maybe 2 centuries, that's slipping forward. But then, many years going, president, especially, well, the National Taxi Association.
No name calling, please, right?
These presidents and them, like they make themselves president for life, and so they just have people under pressure. Anybody stand up against them, they become enemy. It's like they're dealing with OBR. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Wow. Do good day. What happened to this fella, boy? 24 minutes after 7 o'clock, that is the time. It's Good Morning Grenada, the conversation we're having this morning. And, strange enough, the gist of the matter this morning, I'm not getting much comments on it. Nobody's extending their condolences. Why is condolences? Lord have his mercy, forgive me. The congratulations to the celebrants this morning. All right. Cynthia B says, you are going to get into trouble. Well, boy, trouble is my middle name, so that's okay. All right. Either way, congratulations are in order. Yes, I do agree. The number to call, it's 435-2041 to get in on the conversation this morning. We're extending congratulations to Lyndon and Jamora. And they are the recipients of the awards for this year, Athletes of the Year in both categories, the male and female. But I also want to go further and recognize our swimmers. They've been representing us in a proud way. They've been doing excellent. They've been doing well, and they continue to do well even coming out of COVID, and all, notwithstanding the fact that they don't have a modernized swimming pool and so forth. But they have been representing us well. I want to say good morning to the swimmers, their coaches, their parents, everybody. Good morning to Miss Gail Purcell. Good morning. How are you doing? I hope all is well. The number to call, 435-2041. And we go back to the telephone line. Good morning.
Morning, Innocent. Happy New Year to you.
Thanks, and same to you. How are you?
Fine for now.
Talk to me.
Innocent, I want to applaud the gentleman who spoke about the different institutions where people are presidents for life in this country. And let me tell you, Innocent, the same thing is happening in the Grenada Cricket Association. We have a president for life, and also some of the members there.
Who's the president? Is it Dwayne Gill?
Oh, yes. Well, and that's what's happening in cricket. Do you see a rise in cricket in Grenada? Not at all. And just the same thing that is happening in Grenada, that used to show how he's splitting up in West Indies cricket. We don't see any improvement. And Shaggy, and sorry to say Shaggy.
No, Shaggy is the short, red, ugly one.
Yes, I know that. And I could tell you something. Recently, they had an election. I think it was somewhere in October, November, and he was elected again. And when you look at the composition of the association, you wonder what is happening, because there are so much other better people around.
But let me ask you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the election process a democratic one? Aren't people nominated and then voted for?
Yes, at the same meeting. But let me tell you something. The same people goes up. The only difference they have this time, which I applaud, is the second vice president. Now, the second vice president before is elevated to the first vice president position. And listen, this is some yes men that has been picked and put in that position, in this position.
But who picks them?
Well, some of the association, some of the people around the clique. The clique. We go put back this man there.
Why?
You would tell me the first vice president, these people don't do anything.
And
they cannot represent us, but they're still there.
I see you going in a direction. Promise me you wouldn't call any names, right?
No, I am tempted to, but Lord,
no, you can't practice that. What happened to you?
Don't do that.
Who does that?
We have too many other better people who should have been on the association to take it forward. These people are workers, and they are not. But I tell you.
Okay, so here my suggestion to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that the election process for getting the management team and so forth in place is a democratic one, just the same way those that you refer to as the clique would nominate who they want to, the yes men.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you get a counter team? Okay, NDC versus NDC, NMP. You understand what I'm saying?
Counter team.
Yeah, get a counter team and campaign as well. And try to get some of the people that you think would make a good difference in there.
Shaggy,
Stop calling me Shaggy, man.
Let me tell you something. It's very, very difficult when you're reaching in there. I could tell you something. You may say something on the outside, okay, that we're going to put certain people there because this person could do this and that person could do that. And when you reach in there at the meeting, when they other click it together, we say, no, but we will vote for this man. You see?
So that means you click weak?
It's opportunities. Fellas want opportunities. So they realize that once they support the president, they're going to get this and they're going to get that.
Yeah. Well, so, you need to get a more competent clique.
Well,
You see like how our new Prime Minister just come and he just take the thing and go do that.
Definitely.
Go and take some advice from him, take some counsel from him.
But it's sad. They to tell you the Grenada Cricket Association. No. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere.
Okay.
To be honest with you,
All
presently.
right. Okay.
And they will not go anywhere as long as that type of people is continue to lead cricket in Grenada. I could tell you.
Well, in wrapping up, one suggestion, and this one is pro bono. It's free advice. You seem like a wise person. You be the perpetuator of change.
Well, I'll try.
Try your best, okay?
Have
a good one, bro. Bye-bye. All right, folks, it's 29 minutes on to 8 o'clock. We take a commercial break. We'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere. Stick and stay with us.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via superb service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. It's 27 minutes on to the 8 o'clock hour, and we go back to the telephone line. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Innocent. How are you?
I am fine. How about you?
Don't let the wind fly you away.
No, that's why I lock up in the studio. I ain't even going outside.
Okay. I just want to congratulate Lyndon and the young lady.
Jamura, yes.
Yes, to me, they will bring back some life in sports in Grenada. Innocent, do you remember when we used to have village football?
Of course.
If these people and them was what was there was thinking like this group of sports people, we name would have called all over now an international stage.
Well, I am certain, right? Having said that, I am certain if they were objective and, scouting, I might have gotten called up to Manchester United for defending. I used to defend for IFOM Stars. You remember that?
I wouldn't doubt that. Innocent, when you're there in SAS Passia and you are even in village playing football and you're watching
the crowd.
And listen to me, one village is telescope and we had more than 5 teams there. And everybody going and back up the team. My team was Cow and Kana, and all of them have the name. And they run with a little washikang and they run with it. And they used to shoot ball from the halfway and score goal.
Yeah.
But people didn't interested in them. It's still when Harry Walker come and from this team, you remember Harry Walker International?
SAFL.
Then he give every player a football boots, have uniform. And I like to tell you, when you go out and you look at a football, what people didn't, I don't know.
Yeah, but not only that.
I'm very sorry, but anyhow, it's a hard work now because, listen, some of the young people, even before they enter to school, they want to take a drink, they want to smoke. So you can't do all this thing and run a 90 minutes, you know. In your lungs, you go force your lungs too much. So I want them to try with them, but never, better late than never.
We could make
I like the agenda with sports in this country now.
We could make it if we try.
We could make it if we
have
try.
to try.
We go try, man.
Have a good one.
Greetings.
Bye-bye. Bless. 24 minutes on to 8 o'clock. That is the time. 435-2041. That's the number. Now, I want to act as the devil's advocate this morning. All right. The topic that we were chatting on a while ago as it relates to this sort of controlling of the various associations. Now, it's not, I've heard it before, but I don't like to be the one to bring forth this kind of, I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but I've heard this talk. But what I'm saying is, the question that I've asked is, isn't the election process, when you're going to vote for the executives and various associations, isn't it a democratic process? Now, if you think that this side has the people set up to make their nominations, to what you refer to as to put in the yes men, in, all you need to do is get a countering team. And that's where you prove your strength. Good morning, caller.
Good morning from rainy Mount Fan. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, too.
One day I'll catch you. Yeah, I'm at a loss a little bit here. Because you admonished a caller a while ago, telling him don't call names, right?
Uh-huh.
And Mr. Dwayne Gill's name was called.
I called it. I asked.
Oh, you can call names, but the callers cannot call names.
No, listen, the context in which I asked when he talked about the president of the Cricket Association.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the context, right?
But hello, one of the weaknesses we have in association is that sporting associations in Grenada are populated by teams and not clubs. And there is a difference.
Okay.
The club structure is not there at that level, right? This club structure is not there at that level. And I don't think they are au fait with a democratic process of selecting officers of the clubs. So hence, when they take it up to the higher level to do for the national associations, it's like in some instances a few members of the teams, if I can say that, say, boy, look, Innocent is a good man. Let me make him go there.
Stop lying on me, eh?
And then Innocent goes there, and because of not having a situation where elections are called every year, or elections are called every 2 years, or the club has a constitution and things go in order, we end up with, in some instances, misfits in positions at the national level. And then after a while, those at the national level believe that they are doing a good job and the position is theirs for life.
But let me ask you a question, caller. You seem to be a very wise person as it relates to that we're talking about. What do you think it would take to transition the teams in the various villages into forming clubs?
Well, look, let's start with football, right? The past executive of the Football Association, championed by Chenny Joseph, right? The past president. I even tried very hard to have properly constituted clubs, right? Run the teams, if you understand where I'm coming from, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think there was even a financial inducement for clubs to do so, because, I mean, FIFA had a lot of money and they got a lot of money. And I don't think the clubs really took it on seriously.
But why?
I don't know. I guess because the whole idea of we form a team, and the team playing, I think that got endemic in our society.
So are you saying that maybe we should start inducing what you call the sports education in the villages?
Well, that is one, and also I would say that the National Lottery Authority in supporting sports, right, lead the culture and the nation building for the while, should insist that people clubs coming to them for funding should have a proper structure. And there should be annual reports, financial reports. If you want me to sponsor you, let me see your annual report. Let me see your financial report. And that would encourage, I wouldn't say force, encourage the groups of people who form themselves into clubs to have good operating clubs. And that would strengthen our sport on the field of play at the same time.
Okay. All right.
Right? So have a pleasant day. Rain for soap here, Papa.
Sure. Well,
I appreciate it.
Don't go outside with your umbrella. It will get wet.
Boy, I was wondering that about a partner next door. I see you walking through the rain.
Yeah.
When tell you that, man, he's slim. And very, very thin, you know. He walking through the rain with a pajama in one stripe. Okay. So he can't get wet. All right.
My good friend Oswald Pelidabo. It's 19 minutes on to 8 o'clock. That's the time I'm going to take a look at what's happening on our Facebook page after this call. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, in a sense,
hi.
You asked the question about why the situation in the clubs. But it's not just the clubs, it's a crisis of leadership in Grenada, and maybe not just Grenada. And because of the breakdown in community, also the way we treat people who may have wanted to serve, you know, and the whole undemocratic way we have cultivated things in the past.
Do you think we have a leadership crisis in Grenada now?
But in terms of the broadest level, I'm not talking maybe it might be in the political, but I'm not referring to that way. Because even the churches, even in the religious organization, they all suffer. Look at the weak leadership all over.
Okay. All right.
So what I'm saying is that this is one of the reasons I've been advocating for years, for us to go back to the community. You mentioned that, but also in school, we don't talk about democracy, but we were never taught to be democratic. I will tell you why. Even at the home, a child comes up with an idea. I'm not talking about the rude child. And he shut up. Hush him, I'm in charge, the parent says. In the school, a child cannot challenge an idea without being ridiculed. I don't mean, again, a rude child. We are not being taught to really engage, to ask, to question. And when you do that, as somebody said, you become a devil. I have become a devil because I've been asking questions and challenging situations over the years. So unless we really understand, because if you don't have strong institutions, you would end up in a situation like you have in some countries where, although lots of money is spent on arms and so on, like in Afghanistan and so on, and I don't want to call countries near to us, you have a situation, or even in Lebanon, which we named one of the weakest or one of the whatever country, you have those situations. And we could do it because it requires us learning to listen, to be patient, to have time. Most people don't have time. They run in here and there. I mean, we need to have time. We need to be able to dedicate to the situation. And another thing is that being accountable.
Okay.
I agree with the last caller that said about this group, it teams. I don't hear some names of places, even that I'm familiar with, even before us. Club, but not club, teams.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, caller. Thank you very much. It's 16 minutes on to 8 o'clock. And this WhatsApp user says, good morning. Congrats to Lyndon and Jamora. Keep making our country proud. Yeah, I am proud. Good morning. Hi, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, sir. You have been complimented by me and others for your good works. You have been transformed already. And you're still being transformed. And don't say I'm using the word transform. this is what people are telling you. You have to change things. This is what I'm understanding from the callers. You have to change the way things have already been done. Do it some other how. Look at, they're talking about the schools. You just hear that just now there. That some people have been denied saying things. Sometimes, that's why I compliment you. You listen to people and you shoot a question here and there. Others are not being transformed in your situation.
Okay.
In your type of work then.
All right.
They have a tendency to say whatever they say is the gospel truth.
Okay.
You're not like that.
Uh-huh.
You discuss, you ask questions, even if you try to corner the people, me. But you still do things to put people to think. So you transfer some of you all workers. Okay. Not only that, some of the athletic leaders, some of the parliamentarians, they have to start thinking a new way. As you would say, a new dispensation.
Okay.
This is what has to happen in the world. Well,
right.
I don't think even about the world. I'm thinking more about Grenada.
Okay.
Because I'm living in Grenada.
Right.
And I want Grenada to grow.
Okay.
That's why I would use some word. We have to transfer using what, when we're talking about the sea, we have to use fathoms.
So
that's why we have on the speedometer in people's
could we have
kilogram or kilometers.
Could we have that conversation on Sunday, please?
Huh?
We'll have that new aspect of the conversation. We'll have it on Sunday, all right?
No, but it takes in all what we're talking about now.
I understand.
Every single thing.
Okay, all right.
Even the way you live, transformation.
Thank you. Thank you, caller. Never a dull moment in Grenada. Folks, it's 13 minutes on to 8 o'clock. We take a final commercial break and we'll be back for the wrapping up segment.
Government has announced measures to drive the cost of living down. The opposition thinks some of these will backfire in the future. Pensions have been paid as promised. Opposing voices question the sustainability. How will the Prime Minister and his team play the balancing act? Let's hear from him on these and other issues on Monday night on GBN's Beyond the Headlines at 8 p.m. Beyond the Headlines, live on GBN Television, Classic Radio, and our social media platforms.
You know, one day I woke up and, you know, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. You know, nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You know you're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue on your journey.
This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. It's 10 minutes on to 8 o'clock. Before we take our next caller, let's visit our Facebook page. And Haven Hill says, this week we revisited the two Thomases working together. While I think the unity is a good gesture, the NDC Thomas must be given solo time to get acquainted with and win the hearts of her constituents. She must be careful that she is not overshadowed by her predecessor, who already is well known and settled. Well, Delma Thomas is not necessarily her predecessor because Delma is still the parliamentary representative. All right. Gloria Thomas is just the NDC's candidate for that constituency. So I don't think predecessor. But in any case, it is probably not fortuitous that the NNP Thomas still, you listen to the program too much. All right, she incorporated our word of the day into her conversation. Oh, what a smart thing. Good morning, caller.
Yes, you're innocent.
How are you?
I'm fine. Innocent. It's nice and it's very good to congratulate and to emulate.
Something is too loud in the background.
Yeah, it's not too loud and too close. To emulate people who achieve here, especially sports people and so forth. But for me, the most important thing in whatever human do is the salvation of the soul. And then we cause people to ignore, a lot of people ignore their spiritual life. And we emulate all what we do in the world. But what about when we leave this world? Where are we going? What are we preparing for? There is something that's compulsory. It's death. And after death, we have to face a judgment, and we have two destinations. Okay. Where are we preparing for? We only prepare and talking about the world and everything in the world, but we have to leave the world one day, and that's why Jesus died, so that we can prepare for the next life. And that's my burden for the world and for human beings, that they be born again, that they receive Christ no matter what you achieve. Okay. The word of God told us, it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all the things then will be added. But we're seeking everything and we're ignoring that. We're going the opposite. So I want to encourage people, no matter what you achieve in the world, if you don't have Christ, better you have achieved nothing. Because Christ is the answer to all the world's problems. If people receive Christ and the whole world becomes safe, we have no need for the police, no need for prison, no need for all these things. But because people do not want God,
okay,
the devil is in control.
All right. Continue to pray for us, eh?
Well, God called me to be an intercessor for the nation, and that's what I'm praying for. That's what I live for.
All right.
And that's what I will die for.
Well, thanks for your continuous prayers, okay?
Bye.
Have a good one. Good. Bye-bye, Ms. Jeremiah. Okay, folks, it's 7 minutes away from 8 o'clock. What's happening? Okay, good. Nice. The number to call, 435-2041, and we do have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Hello, sir. Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad.
Okay, talk to me.
Congratulations is in order to our two athletes, especially Lyndon. And the thing about a person like Lyndon, the participation, the activity they participate in is no easy feat. And every time that guy is involved in competition, I root for him.
What you do?
I root for him.
Okay.
Because, you know, I mean, you have to be so multifaceted in such a field that it takes a lot of work, discipline. And that's the problem is in finding more and more of that sort in this country. The young people, I notice, are not that disciplined in the approach to sports in particular. They just go through the motion. The zeal and enthusiasm that you have to be successful in sports, I have a pretty good idea of how it is.
Okay.
And most of the guys fall very early by the wayside because of the whole issue of structure in this place. You know, what Pele, some of the points Pele made, and one of the caller afterwards point out the whole issue of leadership. Very difficult to find nowadays. And another thing is, even when you have leaders, here you had a few of your callers being critical of them being there for life. One of the reasons why they life, or it appears, is because you hardly have others challenging them enough that can impress the
electorate. The electorate.
The electorate. To impress the electorate, move the old heads or the former guys. They're not creating that aura to the extent that they have guys wanting to root for them.
Okay.
So that those who are there, they're going to stay there. We had a situation in Grenada for how much years? One guy was in charge of Tau union.
No name calling, huh?
As though it was his. No.
Right.
But I talk about the union.
Yes, right.
As though the union was his.
Uh-huh.
One of the leading person in that union spoke to me one time. And that's what he pointed out to me about. That these guys and them are there as though the thing is theirs. So when you people entrenching themselves, either having to influence the electorate or the electorate favoring them, you cannot blame the guy sometimes.
That was the point I'm making, because if the election process is democratic,
yeah.
Once you have no Trumpism involved, you understand? Once you have that, you don't have that, then what's the problem? Because if everybody, one man, one vote, and the same set of people keep voting, then and you opposing it now, that means you have a problem. Get some people and you're honest.
It won't work.
It won't work.
That won't work because the guys and them are there because they have been favored.
But favored why? If they are not performing, why are they favored?
There's no people to upstage them.
Well, that's the point I'm making.
There's no people to upstage them. This is what one of the other guys pointed out to you. Isn't much leadership in the society. You hardly have people who could be considered as genuine leaders.
So in essence,
there are so few. Okay, it's like when you don't have grandmother. When you don't have mother, you're not grandmother.
Hey, my grandmother is my mother.
But what I'm saying is that these guys, that's the best we have.
So in essence, what you're saying now, you're scaring me. It means that the problem that is showing up itself, manifesting itself in the various organizations, sporting organizations, it means that it's a bigger problem than that.
That's the fact, yeah?
Yeah, so it seems like, as a caller said earlier, maybe we do have a leadership crisis in Grenada.
Yeah, but a leadership crisis, that's the point.
Oh, my goodness.
And so these guys are they're entrenched.
That's scary.
And you can't blame them.
That's scary. What are you?
What are you in the Football Association for all the years?
What can you? Hold on. We have to wrap up now. But okay, now that we've identified the problem, that we have a leadership problem, you have brilliant ideas. What are you as an individual going to do about it?
Maybe talk as much as I'm doing on the radio for now.
Talk?
As much, yeah.
Only talk? What's about going out into your village and start instilling some of the leadership qualities that you've got to some of the young people to form clubs?
I'm not sure I have leadership qualities in that sense.
Yeah, sure.
I'm an analyst more than anything else.
Right.
I'm a participant of the things and them.
Okay.
I mean, because a lot of years ago I used to be involved. I used to organize football when I used to live in St. David's.
Okay.
I used to be one of the organizers. I used to be the main referee.
Okay.
But then again, time. You know, I've been a part of this type of thing. You know, in my village, River Sally, I used to be a referee.
Let me ask you a question. Are you a retiree?
Well, too old to continue that type of thing. Organization.
Okay.
That might be the path.
All right.
I mean, I still could run like the little guys and them, but
you still could run your mouth.
Maybe my mind too.
Have a good one, caller. Have a blessed weekend.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
All right, good, folks. This is where we've got to wrap it up for today. It's been a very exciting week. You know, I enjoyed every second of the time that we spent together on the conversation. And I do hope that the Lord is going to spare our lives so that we can do the same as we have some more exciting conversations next week. I urge you to be safe on the nation's roads if you are driving. And if you're a passenger in any vehicle and you think the driver is driving reckless or too fast, you have the right to ask him to slow down or to put you down. All right? Don't stay and take your death as no ship in no vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so have a good one. God bless you. Bye-bye. I'm gone. This is